I do think fashion is an art form. I think it's wearable art. I mean, I think culture is made out of society and society wears clothes. So I think fashion is a reflection of society and society is a reflection of fashion.
It's a way of showing who you are, not necessarily representing you forever, but it's just representing who you are at that time or what you're feeling at that time or what you want to express to people visually at that time.
I think the model is just a blank canvas for the designer and the makeup artist and the stylist to express themselves on. And that's actually a really nice thing because it prioritises the clothes, which is what should be prioritised.
The industry in general can be very crazy, daunting, like a monster, but I feel like fashion should be at its basis fun. Like everyone can partake in it. It's not an exclusive thing. You're dressing yourself every day is something everyone can do for all ages. My name's Marissa Swen. I'm just a stylist. I style a lot of musicians.
My name is Connor. I am a graphic designer and a content creator.
I'm Josephina and I work as a model part-time.
My name is Fiona Wang and I'm studying a Bachelor's of Fashion Design and Textiles at UTS.
I got scattered when I was 13 and I asked my mum if I could model and she said, no, you cannot. And then I got scattered again when I was 14. I was like, Mum, please, I really want to do it now. And she was like, okay, you can do it. So I went to a course to see what it was about. One of the photographers there, he said, I think you've got an opportunity to actually do something in this industry. Can I sign you as your mother agent? And so I signed with him and the rest is history. I can't remember who wrote it. It was this financial advisor and he wrote this novel and he said the purpose of a model is to sell an audience to the client. And I suppose models they're the human aspect of selling things. That has reframed my perspective on what I'm doing as a model.
Fashion is important to me because it's a mode of self-expression. As a fashion designer and someone who makes garments, it's a way that I can put all the thoughts and all my creative ideas into something tangible. And it's really cool to see other people kind of resonate with what's in my mind and wear it. Rendition is a collection that I made that is about removing the social narratives attached to clothing. Historically, clothing has been an indicator of race, culture, gender, social class, and I wanted to make clothing that was completely devoid of that, which is why the garments have a half skirt attached to pants and it's worn by different bodies.
How I started my content creation journey was I just started posting stuff because I saw people do it online. I'm like, oh, I can do that. I just did it for fun for me. And then from there, I think that's why I got into it so organically, is because I really liked it just for the sake of me having fun with it. And because I had fun with it, it grew into something a bit more serious. How graphic design links to fashion is through colour theory. Reading books on graphic design, that really helped, and kind of pairing the different colours and having a different perspective and putting colours together that weren't as obvious.
Honestly, I feel like I've been into fashion for years, since I was a child. Normally I style musicians or like anyone who needs like press shots or like something a bit more creative and they need a look. Big thing for me is what they feel comfortable and they're best in, and then kind of merging their taste and their aesthetic with things I like too, and kind of finding a good balance with what works for both of us. I guess I ended up being a stylist because clothes are so empowering.
E-commerce is what you'd see on websites. Usually you get the front, and then you get the side, and then you get the back, and then sometimes you get a movement pose, and then you get like a little video of the model walks into camera, turns around and walks off. Editorial is sort of more avant-garde, like magazine shoots. They usually have more interesting makeup, more expensive clothes. A campaign is what you might see on the side of buildings or buses. It's the big thing, advertising the brand. I definitely love one-off and bespoke clothes from an up-and-coming designer who's just out of uni. I think that's the best to model.
My favourite garments that I've made are the ones that show the craft of garment making the most. I really like taking fabric and spinning it straight onto a mannequin and seeing what techniques I can do and what methods I can implement to actually make a garment something wearable. Those are my favourite types of designs because it really is working with the fabric and working with the beautiful shapes that it can create. I like the way that fabric falls, so I try to like integrate that into the design, and then when I'm making pieces I always end up making something that's either completely shapeless or something that accentuates the waist. When I'm making things for myself, usually I'll see something online that I want but I can't afford or I'll see something online, I'm like, that would be really cool, but I would make this, this and this change, and then I'll make a toile, which is the first iteration of a garment is what we call it, and then once I'm happy with it, make the changes that needs to be made, and then I make it in final fabric, and then there we go.
I normally look on Pinterest, that's like the #1 thing. Really looking at inspiration really helps. Or just have a look at what I'm thinking, like colourful vests or denim vests or something like that. And then I think of an item that excites me to style, so then I build it around that item and make sure that it's kind of like a mental checklist. The colours match, the era matches, there's cool textures involved. I mean, obviously not always you hit it right on the head, but yeah, that's probably my thought process.
So a lot of the times when I'm doing more look-based things for like press shots and stuff, you know, they want the images or music video, they want to look good in it. So we always go through like looks before and we get them finalized. So they kind of already know, and then when we do like a fitting or like get dressed on the day, they feel great. Like, and when everything comes together with hair and makeup, and you can see like the energy I've gotten off them being dressed into a look that you wouldn't normally wear every day is exciting. So sometimes there can be a lot of back and forth in terms of finalizing a look. The biggest struggle is just time, but at the same time, there's always like never enough time.
I have younger members of my family looking up to me. I've had people asking me what it would be like to become a model and what kind of avenues they would go down. And I think it's important that I encourage them to like keep up with their academics, and modelling is great, but it's not the be all and end all, and it's not the only career path there is, and it's not even necessarily the best career path. Like, the impetus is on me to be honest about what it is like and not glamorize it any more than it has been glamorized. Sort of like early morning starts and layers of makeup and standing in front of bright lights. And those aren't bad things, they're all part of the experience, and it's an interesting experience, but there's very little glamour to that.
I would say that my style is creative and thrifty, just because those are like kind of big parts of my identity, so I think it just like comes out in the way that I present myself naturally. So as a fashion design student, I value like sustainability a lot, and I also value the craft of actually like garment making, and I think that comes out in what I wear. it's not just the garment, it's kind of the values attached to the garment. And then like I'm wearing like something that I thrifted, and then I turned it was a poncho, and then I turned it into a shirt.
I wear my casting clothes pretty much everywhere because they're basics. They're just like black and white tops and jeans. To uni, because it's architecture and it's pretty hands-on, I'll just wear oversized t-shirts and shorts because I know they're going to get completely messed up. And then, I mean, when I'm going out, something like this probably. Getting exposed to all these different clothes that I wouldn't necessarily get a chance to wear outside of modelling has definitely influenced my style. I think when I was younger and a teenager, it was sort of quantity over quality, but now I'd rather like wait and save up and buy a really amazing piece rather than buy 20 so-so pieces. I'm trying to focus on buying pieces that are timeless, so I'll be able to wear them in 20 years or so. In the current climate, circular fashion is becoming more of a thing. Before, I didn't even know what thrift shopping was, but maybe in the last 4 or so years, all I do is thrift shop. I love thrift shopping. I love getting secondhand clothes.
The people I grew up with were really not into fashion, or like were into like, I guess like trending styles. And I guess that made me want to find something else that was more interesting to me, because I was like, everyone was wearing the same thing, you know, variations of like the same sort of thing, and I just got bored of that. But it was also like a pressure to like conform into like wearing that stuff. And I guess me as a person, I grew up being like, no, you don't have to be like everyone else. So that kind of made me, like pushed me to like branch out to discover new sort of styles. I feel like I have a very specific look where it can be like androgynous, very baggy, flowy, bigger silhouettes, and like a darker palette.
And how I would describe my style would be flamboyant, colourful, unhinged, and just whatever I want it to be. It's almost like, it's more like a character in a weird way. Tells a different narrative that more is like the character I'm feeling that day, if that makes sense. If I want to dress up in like a 90s outfit, that's very different than what I'm wearing right now. What I'm wearing at the time is very reflective of what I'm listening to. It's mainly like probably throwback artists, like a lot of female artists that I really, really enjoy. I love Britney Spears. Who doesn't love Miss Britney Spears? My upbringing has affected my fashion because I grew up in a mostly female-dominated environment. I was brought up by a lot of the time my mum and sister and grandmother. So because of that, I think it gave me room to not be so restrictive with my creativity, and because of that, my mum and sister are very open people, and I think as well, because of that, I was more comfortable with expressing my opinions to my family, and also because they were women, that was also great for me because I'm mostly comfortable around women, so it was like, it was that flowiness environment of my upbringing. So yeah, because of that, it allowed me to explore different kind of avenues of fashion, and not just fashion, but other things.
I think the most meaningful fashion piece that I own is this boat neck top that used to be my mum's. It's something that she just had in her closet, and I just like stole it. And I wear it all the time because it's comfortable, it's a nice top, and I'll never get rid of it because it's my mum's. But it's funny because it's become the top that I wear for every single assignment presentation that I have since first year. Whenever I have to present my collection, I always wear that top now, so it's kind of like a good luck / bad luck charm.
I actually collect a lot of archival Japanese designer stuff from like the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. For a while, like for a few months now, I've been into like more black and just like detailing, as you can see, like just textures and stuff. And this is actually a piece I've collected. It's Issey Miyake, Autumn Winter 2009. I feel like this is a very me piece at the moment.
I love sharing clothes with my mom, so this jacket's, it's like an old Alexander McQueen, which I really love. I think she got it when he was still alive too. This is probably my favourite.
Probably this Vivienne Westwood, only because it's like chunky and like a little bit in your face. I think that was a really turning point in my kind of creativity when I got this, mostly because of the emotional kind of connection with it, like with changing my style and stuff.
I do find myself being inspired by things that aren't represented. So for instance, a lot of my fashion is driven by parts of myself that I wish I had seen when I was little in media. For instance, like Asian representation is a huge thing that lacked when I was growing up. So my muse, I guess, is just trying to fill in the spots that I never had when I was growing up.
But in terms of me personally, style and like what people say about my own personal style, I like don't care.
So for me, it's about self-expression and connecting with other people who love to do fashion as well. I love the way I dress, and I do it for, like, not to sound corny, but I do it for me ultimately. And if people like it, that's great, and that makes me feel nice, there's no denying that. But if people don't like it, that's not my problem, that's their problem.
At the end of the day, I'm dressing me for me and not anyone else. I know I've had, like, even my mum always is like, oh, I hate that new thing you bought. I'm like, I don't care. And that's just an ongoing joke we have, because she will always be like, oh, that's so ugly. But I'm like, I love it because it is ugly.
There's a lot of importance in recognizing that fashion isn't just something that you wear every single day. There's a lot of craft that goes into it, and it's very powerful because, again, it can express your identity.
And I feel like that should kind of, transcend into like everyone. Like, you shouldn't have to feel like you're dressing a particular way for anyone but yourself.
I would describe Gen Z fashion as very expressive.
Again, it's a very holistic and kind of like perspective-driven thing based on taste and different lived experiences and stuff.
In my point of view, it's a lot more eclectic than it has been in past centuries, which I think is a great thing. I think it says how much more eclectic our society has gotten.
We're a generation that has a lot of access to knowledge, and we're becoming more socially aware and politically aware. We're in a social media era, and we're becoming a lot more expressive in that term.
As like Gen Z, we absorb so much from social media and media, like everything.
In past times, it was really stringent about what men should wear and what women should wear and what was appropriate to wear, like in that time period. And I think it's really nice that people are taking things from different centuries and different fashion styles.
A lot of Gen Z fashion has been taking or nodding towards past fashion styles. You see 70s, you see 90s, you see right now the Y2K kind of movement. I mean, fashion's always evolving.
Everyone's going back to the early 90s and 2000s for fashion inspiration. There's a lot of nostalgia for that at the moment, but it's hard to say. Trends are moving so quickly.
I think baggy stuff is going to stay around much longer. That's probably something that will stick. Like, people love oversized clothing, but also people really love the kind of crop tops and the kind of slogan tees at the moment.
The 2020s is such a revolutionary era to fashion because it is so multifaceted. With all these new ideas coming out and all these different modes of expression in terms of fashion, we've become so much more open-minded. For instance, if you look at the queer community, fashion has done so much for the queer community, and it has given them so much access to rights and a voice.
People put a lot of their culture into fashion. I think people are embracing post-colonial era, their own culture and how they feel about clothes. Lots of people are feeling more and more open to wearing the clothes of their culture and bringing their culture into their designs.
Now more than ever, we're seeing a lot more people dress in the way that they want to dress, away from the gender binary, away from what's conservative and what isn't, away from what they think they're supposed to wear, which is a really special thing.
I think a lot of people use fashion as self-expression, and I think it's become really important to gender expression. And men can wear dresses and women can wear pants and that kind of thing. So I think it says that our society is a lot more open.
It comes down to that self-expression that, I guess it is emotionally driven. if you really are into fashion, there's a reason why you do it, and that's for passion and for connection and for self-expression, and all those things are emotional. I think we're more environmentally conscious as well, and because we're environmentally conscious, or at least most people who are into fashion, I think, have an idea of it, so that they don't want to buy something that's just a trend and then throw it away.
On the other hand, it's a lot easier to mass produce things, so fast fashion is a really big thing, and the fact that people keep buying fast fashion, the market for fast fashion keeps growing, and that says something about our society too, that we prioritise quantity over quality. And I mean, it doesn't go for everyone, but I think in the first world at least, a lot of us can afford to be a little bit more judicious about where we buy our clothes and how our clothes contribute to the environment.
Because with fast fashion and with consumption and all that, everyone is trying to pump out as much as they can and as many ideas to accommodate for everyone. With that, the environment is dying. But also, I would say, I think it says that we're in an era of late-stage capitalism and hyperconsumption. There are so many stories that fashion tells, and you just have to look for it. When you look at what someone wears, that's a story in itself. Like, what was the story of them picking out their outfit this morning, or what was the story of how, when they bought it. I think that's another reason why I like op shopping so much, is because you kind of wonder the narrative of the clothing itself. Like, where was it before it reached the store? Beyond the actual garment, I think it tells the story of the actual person who's wearing it as well. What does their outfit mean to them, and is there anything attached to their decision of putting on an outfit that is very significant to their identity?
Experiment, trying different styles out if that's what you're gauging. And then I feel like over time, you kind of learn what you like, what looks good on you, and if something looks good on you, you feel confident in it.
For anyone that wants to get in it, just do it for fun. Feel out what you like. That's an important thing. Feel out what you like and what you don't like. Try it. Step outside the box a bit, but don't go too far that you're going to burn yourself out. Do you know what I mean? Don't try a style so outrageous if you want to try something outrageous. Because you might be embarrassed because no one's seen you do that before, and you're like, oh no, people don't like what I wear. But do small things, like change the color of your socks, wear more rings, wear more accessories slowly, and then you'll feel more comfortable. Confidence is everything with fashion.
Damn, feeling lucky. Out above most streets, us two in these trees. Diamonds on my feet, caught up in these talks. Circling my head top. Should've been more cautious. Now I got what I wanted. Many